Great. Hello. We're on to something here. Uh, this is Mark Carlin, the results hypnotist, and I'm speaking to you from Stop Smoking Tip. These are tips to help you to stop smoking, and this is the best time of the year to do that because a lot of people are really interested in quitting smoking right around this time of year. Every New Year's resolution time, New Year's holiday, there's a new beginning. And people get really excited about making a clean break between one part to another. And the part that I'm talking about is last year. Last year ended December 31st and January 1st, new year. New year means new opportunities. This is something that is conditioned into our psyche, into our mind, depending upon what part of the world we live in, because there are different New Years, different parts of the world. Coming up in a couple of weeks will be the Chinese New Year. There's Lunar New Year's. There's all kinds of different New Years around the world. Different cultures celebrate different New Years, and it's always a beginning, or it represents an ending of one part and a beginning of another. It's a way of keeping track. So this is a really good time for you to get stimulated and to move forward with your quit. You have a desire to stop smoking. That's why you're listening to me. That's why you've liked my page, Stop Smoking Tip. And I appreciate that. And I applaud you for doing that. It is something that's very important for all of us to be done with this ridiculous behavior that we've created habits around of smoking cigarettes. There's absolutely nothing beneficial about smoking cigarettes other than what you've assigned to it yourself. You've created this feeling, this experience around the ritual of smoking that allows you to feel good. Today I wanted to talk about the addictive qualities of nicotine, because you've probably heard in places, you probably read about it in studies and all kinds of medical reports and pamphlets around that are given out there that's supposedly helping you to quit smoking, that nicotine and cigarette smoking is an addictive behavior. It's an addictive substance. Nicotine is addictive. It's an addict. You become an addict to cigarettes. And I've been working with people, clients, helping them to stop smoking for now over 20 years. And I can tell you, and through my own experience as a smoker for about a decade, many decades ago, that is not true. I mean, when you think about an addict, when I think about an addict, what comes to mind is a drug addict, a heroin addict, someone who's sticking needles in their arm, and someone who is drinking so much alcohol that if you take away that drug of choice, that nicotine, that alcohol or their drug like cocaine or heroin, if you take away that drug and they're really addicted to it, they kind of have a physical meltdown. Okay, there are incidences where people have actually died from drug withdrawal because they had convulsions and they really just went bonkers. They just were out of it. It's a very different experience of dependency on those type of drugs compared to nicotine, right? I think we could all agree with that. Nicotine dependency is nowhere near what it is to be dependent upon drugs like cocaine, heroin, or alcohol. Those drugs are really very dangerous drugs, and quitting those substances really does require some help, possibly some medical help, in order to, depending upon how dependent you are on the substance. So this nonsense about comparing nicotine and cigarette smoking to a drug like that is just totally baloney. It's just like, it's ridiculous. It is total nonsense. It's a myth, okay? And I'm going to tell you how how much of a myth it is, and I'm going to prove it to you, because if you're a smoker and you're smoking, let's say the average smoker smokes about a half a pack to a pack a day. Used to be a pack to 2 packs, but now cigarette smoking has become so expensive that people have cut down. Okay, now think about that. Just that alone. If you're a heroin addict and heroin becomes more expensive, you're gonna probably rob more people in order to support your habit, or work harder to support your habit if you're a high-functioning heroin addict. Okay, you're not going to cut back because your habit is telling you you actually need it. Okay, so cigarettes become more expensive. Instead of smoking a pack to 2 packs a day, now we're down to half a pack to a pack a day. In fact, when the price of cigarettes go up, when New York right now, it costs about $13 to $15 a pack to smoke cigarettes. Okay, that's a lot of money. You're spending what it would cost. You could drive around in a Mercedes-Benz on a monthly payment for what it costs you to smoke cigarettes on a monthly level. So just think about that. It's nonsense. But getting back to how addictive, or if it is addictive to smoke cigarettes, let's say you smoke about a pack a day. You're smoking a few cigarettes, like 3 or 4 cigarettes an hour. Okay, if you're able to do that in your workplace, you're smoking about 3 to 4 cigarettes each hour. All right. Now it's very common for people who are smokers to fly on an airplane or to go to a movie theater. So I want you to think about this. Last time you were on an airplane, you went to an airplane, you went to a flight. Let's say you flew a few hours. Maybe you flew out to California. Maybe you flew down to Florida from New York. So you're talking about 3 to 6 hours of flight time. Now, during that time, you'd be smoking 12 to 24 over a pack of cigarettes in the air flying on a plane. That would be your normal intake of cigarettes. Now, if you were addicted to drugs, you'd have to be confined to the chair. You'd have to be strapped down. You'd be climbing the walls. Because think about this, a heroin addict wouldn't be able to control that need for that drug during that time frame. If they needed their fix in a certain amount of time, they would have to have that fix, or they'd have a meltdown. They would seriously have a meltdown. They'd be causing problems throughout the plane. The plane would have to make an emergency landing. That doesn't happen with nicotine. Okay, that is totally nonsense. That nicotine is that addictive. Just doesn't happen. Think about, if you haven't ever flown on a plane, think about going to a movies. If you ever went to a movie theater, and I'm talking about most people, not because there probably are some instances where people do have these adverse responses to these type of things. It isn't physical. I can guarantee you it is not a physical addiction. And I'll talk about that in a moment. But if you went to a movie, movies generally about an hour and a half. If you're smoking a pack a day and you went to an hour and a half movie, that means you'd miss out on about 6 cigarettes. 6 cigarettes you'd be without, or you'd have to get up in the middle of the movie and walk outside to have a cigarette and come back in again. That really doesn't happen. Rarely does something like that happen. So, if it doesn't happen for you, it's not an addiction. It's not that type of an addiction. I'll tell you what it is. It is an emotional response at most. Okay, an emotional response, and some people really have very strong emotional responses to being without their cigarette, and they're emotionally attached to the ritual of smoking, not to the smoke itself, not to the nicotine, not to the chemicals that are in the cigarette. They're emotionally attached to the feeling that cigarettes provide to them. Okay, now cigarettes provide a feeling. Now, this is really where it gets interesting, because nicotine is a stimulant. Everybody knows that. Nicotine is a stimulant, okay? Now, the feeling that people want, or usually want, from their cigarette smoking is a feeling of comfort, a feeling of calm, a feeling of rebalancing. Those things are not associated with stimulation. Those things are more associated with relaxation. Okay, relaxation. Get this? People smoke and they relax. They feel more in control. They feel more at ease. They feel more comfort. That's what most people report to me. I've got 20 years of of history working with people, and this is the most common thing that people report to me, that they're looking for this relaxation response, that's comforting response, this good feeling that they get from smoking. Think about this. Nicotine is a stimulant designed to rev you up, designed to give you more stress, not less stress. So I'm not taking away from the notion that you're relaxing when you're smoking cigarettes, because I guarantee you, you are relaxing. You're getting those feelings, those good, comforting feelings from smoking cigarettes. But it's not from the nicotine, it's from your mind. Your mind, you've trained yourself over the course of however long you've been smoking to relax when you go through this ritual of smoking cigarettes. It's not the nicotine that's giving you the relaxation response. It's the ritual of smoking. You've grown accustomed to relaxing every time you smoke a cigarette. People call them cigarette breaks because you take a break from your normal routines and it gives you a time out, right? That's what it does. It gives you a time out. So nicotine is supposed to get you stressed out. Smoking gives you nicotine, but instead of being stressed, you now feel relaxation. So what you're telling me, or what I'm telling you, what I'm going to explain to you and show you, is that your smoking cigarettes gives you a relaxation response. You're totally taking in this nicotine, and your mind is so powerful, so very powerful, it totally disregards that drug, that nicotine, that feeling that nicotine is supposed to give you. The drug is supposed to get you stressed out. Your mind totally disregards it, blows it out of the picture, and allows you to get a totally opposite response to what the nicotine is supposed to give you. Your mind is way, way, way more powerful than any cigarette or any smoking. So think about that next time you think that nicotine is addictive. Not addictive. You're associating that ritual of smoking with relaxation, and what you want is the relaxation. And when you work with a professional hypnotist, you work with me, what I do is I replace that feeling that you're looking for. I give you that feeling you're looking for. I replace the cigarettes with something else and give you that feeling. It's your mind that's creating the feeling. It's not the cigarettes. So it's pretty easy to take away the whole ritual of smoking and give you that feeling, because it's the feeling that you want. So I didn't want to take too long with this little video, but I just wanted to show you that nicotine is not that addictive a quality, but there is a feeling that you absolutely want, and you become dependent upon getting this feeling through the ritual of smoking. So when you come to see me, because I work with people doing this, and if you're listening to this and you're having difficulty smoking, stopping smoking, which I assume you are, otherwise why would you be listening to this? Or would you be listening to me? You probably have better things to do, but you do want to quit smoking. That's why you're here. And I can help you with this. I work with people all the time. I've been doing it for over 20 years, helping people quit smoking. My number is 212-223-1832. My name is Mark Carlin. I'm the Results Hypnotist. Give me a call. I still have some spots open, though January is a very busy month. Still have some spots open in the next few weeks if you want to start now or in the coming month. Give me a call, 212-223-1832, and I'll help you quit smoking. You can become a non-smoker and remain a non-smoker for the rest of your life. Check it out tomorrow. I'll be around tomorrow as well. I have more tips to give you. There's plenty of information that you need. If you have any questions that you might have of me, if you have any questions about your particular problems with quitting smoking, if you tried in the past and you failed at doing it, at becoming a non-smoker, and you're disappointed and you think you'll never be able to quit, put that out of your mind. People come to see me after they've tried quitting many, many, many times. In fact, it's usually better when someone has tried to quit and failed when they come to see me than someone who's never even tried to quit before. Because if you never tried to quit before, you really don't have the information that's necessary. we learn through trial and error. Okay, that error part, very important. Remember, error is important. It's part of the process of being done with cigarettes. I smoked for 10 years and I quit and I never looked back, but I didn't quit once. I quit many times during that 10 years until I finally got to the point where I figured it out. I figured out how I could quit smoking. Now, I didn't have the benefit of using hypnosis. If I had used the benefit of using hypnosis, I would have quit using it and never looked back, because hypnosis is capable of giving you exactly what you need instead of having to find out how to get what you need. Okay, so the trial and error process is truncated. You don't have to go through as many errors in order to get to the results that you're looking for. It's a lot quicker. So give me a call, Mark Carlin, 212-223-1832. I look forward to speaking with you, helping you, and I'll see you tomorrow. Take care.